How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so today's game is the debut title from one of my favorite developers. It's a run and gun action game, and it is not only my favorite title on the Sega Genesis, but probably one of my 3 or 4 favorite video games of all time. Today's game is Gunstar Heroes. Okay, so Gunstar Heroes follows the exploits of Gunstar Red and Gunstar Blue as they are on a quest to defeat the Empire from resurrecting gold and silver. And it's some of the worst character names ever. Gold and silver. But that doesn't matter. Because along the way you come across characters with a load of personality. You will handle some of the tightest controlling characters in a run and gun action game this side of Contra 3. And everything just feels good about Gunstar. Like I said, there are 2 characters, Gunstar Red and Gunstar Blue, that you can control. And for the most part, they're identical except for the fact that there are 2 different control modes. Free mode, if I remember correctly, you can move while firing, and you'll just fire all willy-nilly while you're moving. As long as you're pointing the control pad, you can fire in that direction. Fixed mode, you have to stop moving while you're firing, but fixed mode allows you to turn 360 degrees pretty much while you're firing. And you have 4 different weapons types that you can mix and match. Force, which is your machine gun type. Lightning, which is your laser type. Flame, which obviously is your flamethrower. And Chaser, which is your homing attack. And you can mix and match them for premium effectiveness. I personally like to mix Chaser and Lightning for a homing laser attack. During the course of the game, you will fight against several different bosses, and each boss has a mystical gem. The gems, once you have gotten to the end of the game, will be used. Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't played Gunstar and wants to play Gunstar and doesn't want to be spoiled. But in a move reminiscent of Castlevania 2, you defeat enemies and get these control gems. The control gems essentially control gold and silver, the last boss. So you're going to be getting your hands on these gems and using the gems to reactivate the final boss to defeat it. The game moves incredibly fast. The sound is pretty awesome. The explosions, everything. It's really reminiscent of Konami. And there's a reason behind that. Treasure was initially comprised of former Konami employees who got tired of the whole cyclical deal of making sequel after sequel after sequel, which kind of may tell you why there aren't many sequels to Treasure titles in the US. May not, but it's interesting to note though that while Treasure was tired of working on title after title and sequel after sequel for Konami, most of the games that Treasure has made over the years were run and gun action games or platformers or shoot 'em up. So they pretty much used their experience from Konami and parlayed that into doing their own thing. You with Gunstar, you won't find a more polished run and gun action experience on the Sega Genesis. So if you can get your hands on Gunstar Heroes, and there's really no reason to not be able to get your hands on it, because it not only was it released on the Genesis and the Mega Drive, but it was also released on Wii Virtual Console, as part of the Treasure Box compilation, one of the Treasure Box compilations, well, the Treasure Box Sega Ages compilation that was released for the PlayStation 2 in the UK and Japan. Where else? Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and I want to say on iOS. I'm not sure. But you can find Gunstar everywhere. So if you like run and gun action games and you've never played this game, you owe it to yourself as a gamer to try out Gunstar Heroes. It is a phenomenal title. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I will catch you beautiful people tomorrow.